So we've helped a lot of folks move out here to San Diego, and San Marcos is on the top of a lot of people's lists. But today we're diving into 4+1 bonus neighborhood that a lot of people who reach out don't even know about. But after you see them, they could definitely jump to the top of your list. So let's get into those right now. First off, we're diving into northern San Marcos. Now up here, there's not a ton of, kind of big master plan communities where you kind of know the names. There's a few different ones that we're gonna show you, but number one neighborhood is going to be right here within the border of San Marcos, just west of Richland Road, just north of Rose Ranch, and it's going to be Sage Canyon Ranch. So as you're coming in off Mulberry here, this is the only area you're gonna see this big sign here, Sage Canyon Ranch. Going up into this neighborhood, it is a smaller master plan community built in around early 2000s. So what you're gonna find in here is larger homes, right around 3,000 square foot. There's a few different models and stuff, but just as a ballpark, and most of the lots in here are right around half-acre lots. So it depends on what side of the road you're on, obviously, but if you go to one side over here, you have bigger lots. If you go to this side, a little more traditional, but still bigger than most. And backyards are decent size, where you have a ton of space for a pool. If you want a little sports court, you want a little basketball hoop, you want a little bocce ball, you want a little garden, you want some chickens, all that kind of stuff. My aunt used to live in this little neighborhood right here, and she had all of that in her backyard. So you will find an HOA in here. Some of the neighborhoods we're covering today don't have HOAs, which people are looking for, but you do have a smaller HOA. You're not getting community amenities or anything like that, just basically common area maintenance, that kind of thing. So it's right now like 160 bucks a month, and it has stayed that way for a little bit. So anyways, not a huge number on HOA, but also you don't get a ton of amenities. Now, location-wise, you are walking distance to Richland Elementary School right down here, which is newly redone. A lot of schools in San Marcos, as they have been building out San Marcos, as San Marcos has grown, they're getting extra money from these developments and getting money for schools. So this was done a few years back, brand new school now. One thing about back here is it is out of the way. So as we're zooming out, you're not gonna see a ton popping up as far as infrastructure, which a lot of people like. Let me just show you as you're driving down Richland Road here and show you just kind of the vibe down here. So here's Sage Canyon Ranch off to the left, and you're going into a new development off to the right up here. But once you get to this corner up here, you're gonna see it turns to like this rural area up here. This is what you get back here in this area of San Marcos. As you go a little bit further, there's a little bit of space, a little bit of farmland back there. You can see back here, there is a winery in here. It's temporarily closed. I don't know why, but there's another winery just right up the road here. Big Walnut Grove Park. If you got kids, there's soccer tournaments there all the time. So we were there, let's say about a month or so ago, just off to the west as well. You do have a golf course, so if you're digging golf, you got that. Now, San Marcos doesn't have a ton of hiking, but right off over here where you see the P Mountain Summit, this is right above Palomar College. You do have some hiking up here, and you can see the P on the mountain right there. It's actually pretty big. I hiked up here a few months back, came in here, and it's a super steep hill. And this is like, it doesn't look that big right here, but it is huge, overlooking a lot of this other area of San Marcos. So not a ton of hiking, but this is one area that you do have nearby. So yeah, it's definitely quieter back here. There's no real main roads. You're gonna find, just a bunch of cut through roads. The freeway's a little bit further. There is Candy Cane Lane right here. They have this every year, so a light show every 30 minutes. I believe it's right on Crimson. I forget the exact address, but every night, 6 to 9, you can see opens December 1st this year. Yeah, Crimson Drive right there. So anyways, that is a little bonus if you want some of that Christmas cheer going on. But with that being out there a little bit, this area of San Marcos, a lot of this northern area of San Marcos is kind of like a food desert. So like if you're looking for great places to eat, if you're looking for date nights, if you're looking for all that, this isn't going to be the area you're going to be doing that. You're going to be driving a little bit. So you will have a little bit of quietness, of peace and quiet of being out here. But as you venture out, you want to go grab a bite to eat. Honestly, I grew up in this section of San Marcos. There's not really a ton out here. Now, right down here, a local favorite right here popping up, Tina's Deli. So a great little deli spot right off Twin Oaks. You'll find a few other little shopping centers and stuff, but that's not like, that's not what you're moving out here for, is the food scene. Now this area, yeah, it is a smaller footprint area. We're not gonna find a ton of homes. Over the last 24 months or so, there's been about 11 sales in here. So there's a decent amount of turnaround, but there's also some other areas. If you like this vibe, but you want a little bit closer to the amenities and stuff, or you just want to be, you just want some more options, we could definitely hook you up, because this is our jam. This is where we do a lot of business right here in San Marcos. So we'd love to start that conversation, help you find the right spot for you. And like I mentioned, Sage Canyon Ranch was built in the early 2000s. And now that's important because right around that time, there was a big change in a lot of the construction here in California. So stricter standards, more energy efficiency, less fire hazards, less, different styles of building. Just so if you are looking in, kind of 2000 and above, it's going to be a little bit different product than you are looking a little bit prior to that. So the next area is a little bit older, but it's important to know if you're looking around that 2000 timeframe, that's when we started seeing some building code changes. All right, next up is going to be a little bit, completely different style of neighborhood right here in San Marcos. We're still in the northern section of San Marcos. And like I mentioned, there's not a ton of communities that are like, oh, go to this master plan community. It's more like areas. So the last one was a smaller master plan community. We have some more master plan communities coming up, but this area, I'm gonna call it Nob Hill, where you have Nob Hill Road, you have Rock Springs Road. It is this northeastern section of San Marcos where you're just due west of the 15, you're just due north of the 78 freeway, kind of in this back corner here. And a lot of these homes are gonna be smaller footprints. A lot of these homes are gonna be built in the mid 70s, early 80s. So this area is a little bit older area of San Marcos, like 1,500 square foot homes. You're gonna find some 2 stories as well, but that's kind of the vibe here. So obviously not as big of yards here, but while you don't have the huge yards like the half acres on the other way, a lot of this area is going to have these little pocket parks, these little private parks within the communities. So these are all within their own little community here. And a lot of these are gonna be just for residents living right in this area. So little private parks right here. This one, it has a little playground over here. Oh, that's like not much. That's just like a little dome, but some have a little bit better amenities, a little playground, maybe a little sports court, something like that. Just depends on which one you are going to, but a lot of times it's walkable from your house. Get outside, go check out one of these parks right here. Now, a lot of these areas do not have HOA, or if they do, it's a very small HOA, maybe taking care of the park and stuff, but you won't find big HOAs in this little section. So beautiful if that's kind of like what you're looking for. Here's a little bit better park if you want to see a little bit better of a build out, a little bit better playground. You have some picnic areas over here. They have just a little bit more amenities in this one. So anyways, this whole section, you're gonna find those little neighborhood parks, which is an awesome amenity to have. If that's what you're looking for, like I said, price points are gonna be much more affordable here compared to the previous spot. And I think location is going to be a little more convenient than that previous one. Especially if you're commuting somewhere, you could shoot down to the 78. There's a freeway entrance right off Nordall right here. You can go the 15 going north or south from here. So 78 is going to bring you east to west. The 15 is going to bring you north to south. You also have this big shopping center right here to the south where you have a big Costco, you have Kohl's. Now, once again, kind of like food deserty, you're going to find a lot of chain restaurants in here. You got a KFC, you got a McDonald's, Taco Bell, all that stuff. There's a few little strip malls and stuff, or a few little areas where you're gonna find some local food. So if you guys are local and watching this, drop in some spots that you guys are eating in here. Give us a little bit of, maybe some of those little local flavor instead of the big box, Taco Bells and McDonald's and stuff. Now also, if we jump back into this neighborhood, you can see the school is right over here as well. So maybe not as walkable, and if you're over off Rock Springs up here, you're gonna be driving to school, but it is somewhat within walking distance or a quick drive distance. If you got kids in elementary school, this is likely where they're gonna be going. You have the middle school right over here. Used to be at elementary school, that's where I went to elementary school. But then also you have the Mission Hills High School right here. So all 3 schools are pretty quick shot right over here. This was built in, I think it was like the early 2000s. This was a big cow pasture when I grew up here. Now they have a few ball fields. They have the park, the soccer field up top. Those are just, community parks, little skate park down here. And then Mission Hills High School right here as well. And then one other amenity we always like to call out in our videos is the local brewery scene. So San Marcos has a handful of breweries. There's no, if you're looking, like Vista's got quite a few more, but right in this southern section here, you'll see Backyard Brewery popping up. A nice little local brew pub in this kind of commercial district on the southern section of San Marcos here, but nice little spot, 4.8 stars. Go there, check it out, your little local watering hole. All right, now if you guys are looking new construction, like we had 2000s, we had some 70s and 80s right here, but brand new construction, this is like the up and coming area of San Marcos that has seen a ton of change over these past few years. And you can see on this map here, it's not even built out. We have some drone footage of kind of where it is now, a little more built out, but here is the Hill District. Now, this used to be a big hill. They've been working on it for many years, and it's an extension of this area called North City. So right over here, we'll come back to over here, is North City. So here's the Hill District. There's 6 different communities from townhome. I mean, most of them are townhomes, honestly. So it's a little tighter in there. But it's also brand new construction. Like I said, I'll show you some other stuff that's going on right around here that I think long-term is gonna be huge for this area, especially if you want a little bit more of that downtown vibe, not downtown San Diego, but like a downtown with shops, restaurants, all that kind of stuff. This could be a good spot, especially for brand new construction. So you have a townhome community right here. You can see the different styles. There is right here where you have 46 detached homes, and then you have kind of this style over here where you're gonna find it's definitely townhome, but a little bit more that detached feel where you're sharing a wall or two. You got your garage right there, but some of that modern architecture. And even when getting new construction here in San Diego, it's important if you chat with us, we can give you some pointers on actually some insights into what to look for. Because if you just go into the sales office, obviously they're there to help you out, but also to sell you the home. We were in a sales office with some clients over in Oceanside a few months back. So when you go to these new construction communities, you're gonna see a price and it's gonna be very appealing. You're like, wow, that's a lot of home, brand new in this area. As we were going through with our other clients, they were like, okay, what's included? What's the carpet? What's the upgrades? And instead of like flooring, some of the model homes, beautiful flooring, it's all built out, it's looking gorgeous, but they were giving you basically super basic countertops. They were giving you carpet flooring throughout. They were not giving you any upgraded appliances. They were not giving you any upgrades throughout the whole thing. So all of those are additional costs. And especially right now, since the market is a little softer, we'll see how we go into the new year. And then we were helping another client, just for another example of what to kind of look for in these. We were able to, they're looking at new construction community, just kind of asking the right questions to the right people. We were able to get them a pretty large credit on their home and actually had them go back and get another credit as well for closing costs for some other items. Because something didn't work out, we were able to help them get that dialed in. All right, so it's all gonna be built out here, right off Discovery. You do have this little shopping center here, Ralph's, Mr. Taco 2. Cassidy says this is his favorite breakfast burritos right here. There's another, I went to this little pizza spot over here. It was called Pizza Bar. Little sports bar. They had the Padres game on. It was awesome. So anyways, good pie too. So anyways, you have this little shopping center right here and a little sports bar over there if you need. But all of this section, we're looking north to south. Right over here is where North City started. Starting at like Mesa Rim Climbing Center. They're doing a bunch of construction here. But as we go down into the main drag here, this is where they have been building out. So all these are apartments. So if you're looking for housing to purchase, this is not going to be the area. You're going to be looking at the Hill District, which is across the way. You can see it being built right up this way. But here is kind of North City. This is like the newer downtown area of San Marcos. And I think as it expands, it's just gonna keep going. So you're gonna find an awesome restaurant right here called Buena Forchetta. There's a coffee spot, there's a sushi spot over here. And like I said, as you go down this road, I think all of this floor, ground level to this brand new construction here, it's gonna be more commercial. And like I said, it's gonna keep going and going until there's some plans in the works to have some more commercial over on this side right here as well. of North City. So there's a new park coming up here within the Hill District with some great amenities, pickleball courts, basketball courts, tennis courts, all kinds of stuff up here. You can see it all down here. Dog park, small dog, large dog, all that. So all that's gonna be an additional amenity to have right in this section as well. And also that North City area is where you're gonna find the farmers market every week. They have other events. They just had, I think it was the first car show that they did down there. So anyways, this is gonna be kind of the heart of this San Marcos area. Now, one con, this whole area, let's see if we can find it in here. Yeah, it's not too bad, but as they build out more lights, as they build more people, as they build out, this whole area is just traffic. So as you're going through here and as they add more communities, assume this is gonna get worse. So you have the freeway on-ramp right there as well. So convenience, yeah, good, but also definitely gonna be working with some traffic in this area of San Marcos as it grows out. Now we're going up the hill. So if you follow Twin Oaks Road, you're gonna be going up this big hill to the top of San Alejo. So San Alejo is a big community, one of the, well, definitely the biggest master plan community in all of San Marcos. And within San Alejo Hills, there are a ton of different little communities, little neighborhoods, different price points. But today, I'm gonna point you in this section down here as we get into lower San Alejo Hills. And now there's a few different communities as you are going through here. You can go off to the right up there. There's a few cul-de-sac communities. You go off to the left over here. As you go down the hill here, you're gonna find another community off to the right that is a gated community going up the hill. As you go off to the, so right would be gated community up the hill. Left, you have another community down this way. So this whole lower section of San Alejo Hills, I'm pointing you to this way because it's a quick little walk or a quick little e-bike ride to the little downtown, if you want to call it, area of San Alejo Hills. So the little town center, where you have your local grocery store, your local Albertsons. I say that because Cassidy lives up in this area and you see the same people, you see the same cashiers. It kind of has that small town feel. You have Set's Kitchen and Bar. You have Vine and Tap right across the street. There's a sushi spot Cassidy has mentioned a bunch of times going to. He's digging that. A little acai spot, Shane's Pizza and Pints. So it's not a huge town center, but it's cool little spot, enough areas to go out, you know, go grab a quick drink, go bring the family out, all that kind of stuff. You have this little spot where we've had last year we had our Pies and Pints party, make our people some apple pies, go have a beer over there, some softball fields, there's a dog park up here. So anyways, you have all that within walking distance here, plus San Alejo, you see all these trails, this big trail system going out here. There's less trails at the bottom, but you can take some trails from the bottom here all the way up to Double Peak Park right here and really stretch your legs, get out there and about. They have a, forget what it's called, the Park to Peak or something like that, where you cruise up one of these trails, go all the way up and you go all the way up to Double Peak, turn around, come back. It's all timed and stuff. Down in the park as well, they have community events. So this is all within a HOA. So you are paying HOA fees, but down here is all detached homes of different sizes, different price points, and you're down lower on the hill. So you're giving up some of those views as you get higher, but you're also paying a little bit lower price point due to that. So yards in here, not huge, but also not crazy tight. As they were building this whole area out in the early 2000s, they did leave some space, not compared to like the Hill District where it's super, super tight. A lot of these homes are big enough where you can get a pool. You have a little, enough little backyard space, a little area to run around. So it's definitely one I would keep on the list if you are looking this style in San Marcos. Now, once you get out of that town center, there's no big box stores or anything like that. You can shoot a few different ways. You go back down to San Marcos, or you could head down to Encinitas and right down in this section where you have El Camino Real. This is where you're gonna find everything and anything you need. The Home Depot, Targets, Best Buys. Over on the other side is the Forum over in Carlsbad, some spots to eat. They have a bunch of little, you know, you got your Apple store in here. You have a bunch of other retail in here as well. So, oh, Apple's over this way. They used to be over there. Anyways, they moved. So that is super close. And the beach is probably, let's see here. If you're going to the beach, you're gonna be, let's just go from Albertsons because that's right in the town center. And you're gonna be heading to, let's just go to Ponto, South Ponto right here in Carlsbad. As it comes up, you're looking at about 24 minutes or so, 23 if you go down to the south. So anyways, within about 25-minute shot down to the coast. All right, and what about the bonus one? The bonus one is a neat little community that has seen a lot of change over since I was growing up there. It used to be a 55 plus community back in the day. It was one of the original master plan communities, I believe, in all of the United States. This is called Lake San Marcos. So you have a man-made lake right here. There's the big dam at the end, and you got all this housing surrounded by the links at Lake House. This golf course used to be called St. Mark, and then you have the executive golf course. So it's a lake/golf course community right here in San Marcos. And you do have an optional HOA where you can, have this little tennis center, little pickleball courts. There's a pool in there. There's a private lawn out here, and you have access to the golf course. It's a public golf course. So you have some gorgeous views. If you are along, just be careful. I've hit a lot of these houses coming through here. So be careful on where you are thinking about purchasing if you're gonna be right on the golf course. But you're also allowed to drive the golf course within this community. So you can hop on your golf course, cruise down to the lake house down there where there's a little restaurant I'll show you in a sec. But the general theme of here is older homes, single story homes. You see, this is probably one of the areas I see most in San Marcos where investors have come in and started flipping homes. So they'll buy a home, maybe it's a little beat up, they will fix it up, new kitchen, new bath, like complete remodels, and then put it back on the market, obviously sell it for a bit more. But I've seen a lot of those over these past few years. So there has been some turnover, but in here, you'll see it's single story. So if you want that single story living, kind of that golf course, kind of community vibe, this could be a great spot for you. Here on the other side of the lake, Amalfi, down below, you can't see it right here. I think we have some B-roll, but they have a lower level and then they have another restaurant up top, but really good pizza, good Italian spot, good drinks in there too. You could also rent out a little pontoon if you want. On the other side, if you own a pontoon, you can park it right over on this side. So anyways, a lot going on here in this little area. There's the Lake House Resort. All this is not brand new anymore, but it's been revitalized over the past handful of years. So it's seen a lot of change in this little section of San Marcos. And you're right on the edge of San Marcos and Carlsbad. So as far as getting to the coast, you could just shoot down Palomar Airport Road, end up right at the coast. You go down to Windmill Food Hall down in Carlsbad, a few other spots to eat right down there. But this is, I think, a nice little hidden gem right here in San Marcos. But there's a lot of different neighborhoods that I'm not even mentioning right here. Maybe they're too small. Maybe they are kind of out of the way. Maybe they don't have a specific neighborhood name. So I didn't want to put it on this list, but if you guys are thinking about moving to San Diego and San Marcos, it's on the list, and you want to dive into some of these neighborhoods or some other areas that have these style homes, but maybe you're in different price points, maybe you want some different amenities or be a little bit closer to the coast, all of those are options as well. But we would love to help you out. We lived here our entire lives, and we'd love to help get you dialed in the perfect spot right here in San Diego.